The necromancer. The old Victorian house loomed over the quiet town like a brooding sentinel, its time-worn facade barely visible through the dense veil of mist that clung to the neighborhood. Inside the house, Sarah, a young woman with a penchant for the macabre, had recently moved in, unaware of the dark secrets hidden within her family history. Sarah had always been different. Her raven-black hair and piercing green eyes set her apart from the townsfolk, who regarded her with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. But it wasn't until her 25th birthday that she began to realize just how unique she truly was. On that fateful night, Sarah was alone in her dimly lit study, surrounded by shelves stacked with ancient tomes and occult artifacts passed down through generations of her family. As she idly leafed through one of the dusty books, her fingers brushed against a brittle page, causing it to rumble. She blinked as a single word caught her eye: necromancy. The word sent shivers down her spine. She had always been drawn to the dark and mysterious, but this felt different. It was as if the word had called out to her, awakening something deep within her soul. Her fascination with the occult suddenly took on a sinister urgency. Over the next few weeks, Sarah delved into her family history, searching for any clues about her newfound connection to necromancy. She discovered a series of journals, written by her great-great-grandmother, Eliza, who had been ostracized by the townspeople for her supposed involvement in dark rituals. Eliza's words spoke of a dark gift passed down through generations, a power that allowed them to communicate with the dead. She described secret rituals performed in the very house Sarah now inhabited, rituals that connected them to the realm of the deceased. Sarah couldn't help but feel a strange kinship with her long-dead ancestor. Driven by a growing compulsion, Sarah began to experiment with the rituals described in Eliza's journals. She gathered candles, herbs, and arcane symbols, laying them out in a circle on the creaky wooden floor of the study. With trembling hands, she followed the instructions, chanting words that sent shivers through her entire being. As the incantation reached its climax, the room grew cold, and a heavy silence settled in. Sarah's heart raced as the candles flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Then, in the dim light, she saw it, a figure, a spectral form materializing before her. The ghostly presence, a woman in tattered Victorian-era clothing, stared at Sarah with hollow eyes. Her voice echoed through the room, a haunting whisper: "Who summons me from the realm of the dead?" Sarah struggled to find her voice, but she managed to stammer, I am Sarah, your descendant. I summoned you." The ghostly woman's face contorted with a mixture of sorrow and longing. "You bear the blood of our family, the gift of necromancy. I have waited for this day." With every word, Sarah's fear gave way to a profound sense of connection and purpose. She had tapped into a power she never knew she possessed, a power that linked her to her ancestors and the world beyond the living. Over the following months, Sarah continued to commune with the spirits of her ancestors, learning from them and growing more powerful with each encounter. She discovered that her gift extended beyond mere communication. She could manipulate the ethereal realm, raising the dead to do her bidding. However, as her abilities grew, so did her obsession. Sarah's nights became consumed by the whispers of the spirits, urging her to delve deeper into the mysteries of necromancy. She began to lose herself in her newfound powers, drifting further from the world of the living. One evening, as Sarah conducted a particularly potent ritual, something went horribly wrong. The boundary between the living and the dead blurred, and a malevolent force clawed its way into the world. The room filled with a palpable darkness, and the spirits she had summoned recoiled in fear. A monstrous, shadowy figure emerged from the void, its eyes blazing with an unholy fire. It reached out with skeletal hands, cold as death, and grabbed Sarah's wrist. She screamed as pain coursed through her, her very life force being drained away. Desperate and terrified, Sarah fought back with all her remaining strength. She summoned the spirits of her ancestors to protect her, and with their aid, she managed to cast the malevolent presence back into the abyss. But the cost was steep. Sarah collapsed, weakened and broken, her body and spirit scarred by the encounter. She realized the dangerous path she had tread, and the price she had paid for her reckless pursuit of power. With newfound humility, she sought the guidance of the spirits she had once summoned, vowing to use her gift responsibly and to honor the memory of her ancestors. The old Victorian house, once a place of darkness and danger, became a sanctuary for Sarah, a place where she could connect with her family's past and the spirits that had guided her. She understood now that her power was a gift and a responsibility, a connection to the past that carried with it the weight of history. Sarah's story serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of delving too deeply into the unknown and the importance of respecting the boundaries between the living and the dead. Her journey into the world of necromancy had led her to the brink of destruction, but in the end, it was her connection to her ancestors that saved her from the darkness that had threatened to consume her. In the aftermath of the malevolent forces' attack, Sarah retreated into herself, nursing her wounds both physical and spiritual. She had glimpsed the abyss, and it had stared back at her with a hunger she could not comprehend. Her obsession with the dark arts had nearly cost her everything, and she knew she had to tread more cautiously. Over the following months, Sarah focused on honing her abilities, seeking guidance from the spirits of her ancestors who had once walked the same perilous path. They warned her of the temptations and the dangers that lay in her newfound power. Sarah listened intently, understanding that her gifts were not to be used recklessly. As she delved deeper into her family's history, she unearthed more journals and artifacts that shed light on the legacy of necromancy. Among these discoveries, she found the tale of a distant relative, Michael, who had also dabbled in the dark arts but had paid a terrible price for his arrogance. Michael's story served as a grim reminder of the consequences of hubris. He had once believed himself invincible, using the power of necromancy to control the spirits and command them as his own personal army. His unchecked ambition had led to a terrible catastrophe, leaving his town in ruins and his name forever tainted. Sarah knew she must not follow in Michael's footsteps. Instead, she focused on using her abilities to help the spirits find peace, to communicate with loved ones left behind, and to seek knowledge from those who had crossed into the afterlife. She became a beacon of solace for the lost and the departed. One evening, as Sarah was conducting a séance to help a grieving mother connect with her deceased son, she felt a presence unlike any she had encountered before. It was powerful, ancient, and filled with an otherworldly wisdom. The room grew cold as a spectral figure materialized before her, radiating an eerie, ethereal light. The spirit identified itself as Alicia, a guardian of the veil between the living and the dead. Alicia explained that she had been watching Sarah's journey with great interest and had come to offer her guidance and protection. She warned Sarah of the malevolent force she had encountered earlier, a malevolence born from the darkest depths of the afterlife. Alicia taught Sarah new ways to strengthen her connection with the spirits while shielding herself from malevolent forces. She revealed secrets of the ancient rituals, their hidden meanings, and their true purpose, to maintain the balance between the realms. As Sarah's knowledge grew, so did her respect for the delicate equilibrium that existed between life and death. She realized that her powers were not just a means to an end but a responsibility to maintain that balance. She was no longer just a necromancer, she was a guardian of the realm, a protector of the living and the deceased. Years passed, and Sarah's reputation as a benevolent necromancer grew. She helped countless souls find peace, reunited loved ones, and unraveled long-buried mysteries. The townsfolk who had once regarded her with suspicion now sought her guidance and assistance, recognizing the invaluable service she provided. But with her newfound wisdom came a profound sense of solitude. Sarah knew that her path was a lonely one, a path few could comprehend or accept. She bore the weight of her family's legacy, carrying the memories and stories of generations past. In the quietude of her study, surrounded by the same ancient tomes and artifacts that had once lured her into the abyss, Sarah found solace. She continued to commune with her ancestors, seeking their guidance and wisdom, grateful for the lessons she had learned, and determined never to forget the darkness that had once threatened to consume her. Sarah had come to understand that the power of necromancy was not inherently good or evil, it was a reflection of the one who wielded it. She had chosen the path of balance, of compassion, and of reverence for the mysteries of life and death. And in doing so, she had transformed her family's dark legacy into a force for light and understanding, a beacon of hope in a world touched by the shadows of the unknown. As the years passed, the old Victorian house, once shrouded in darkness, became a symbol of enlightenment and solace, a place where the living and the dead could find peace in their eternal dance between the realms. Sarah had embraced her destiny as a guardian of the veil, a keeper of the secrets of necromancy, and a bridge between worlds. As the decades rolled by, Sarah's reputation as a benevolent necromancer continued to grow, not only in her town but throughout the world. Her name became synonymous with wisdom, compassion, and the delicate art of communicating with the dead. People traveled from far and wide to seek her counsel and witness her extraordinary abilities. In her pursuit of understanding the mysteries of necromancy, Sarah had become a scholar of the occult. She had amassed a vast library of ancient texts, grimoires, and artifacts that spanned centuries, and her knowledge was unparalleled. She was no longer alone in her endeavors. She had cultivated a network of like-minded individuals who shared her reverence for the balance between the realms. One of Sarah's most trusted allies was Professor Daniel Harrington, an esteemed historian and expert in the occult. Together, they embarked on expeditions to uncover forgotten tombs, decipher ancient inscriptions, and piece together the history of necromancy from different cultures around the world. Their adventures took them to remote corners of the earth, where they encountered spirits of various cultures, each with its own unique rituals and traditions. Sarah and Daniel's shared passion for understanding the complexities of the afterlife forged a deep bond between them, and their partnership became legendary in the world of the occult. During one of their journeys to Egypt, Sarah and Daniel uncovered a hidden chamber buried beneath the sands of the Sahara Desert. Inside, they found an ornate sarcophagus adorned with hieroglyphics that spoke of a long-forgotten necromantic ritual. It was a revelation, a testament to the enduring fascination humans had with the connection between life and death. As Sarah and Daniel continued their research, they discovered that the ancient Egyptians believed that death was not an end but a transition, a journey to the afterlife where the soul could continue to exist. The rituals they practiced were not meant to control the spirits but to honor them and ensure a peaceful passage to the next realm. This revelation was a turning point in Sarah's understanding of necromancy. It reinforced her belief in the importance of maintaining the balance between the living and the dead. She realized that the true power of necromancy lay not in domination but in respect, compassion, and the preservation of the natural order. Sarah and Daniel's journey continued, taking them to the far corners of the world, where they uncovered the secrets of necromantic traditions in Asia, Africa, and the Americas. They shared their findings with the world, using their knowledge to dispel misconceptions and promote a more profound understanding of the afterlife. Throughout their travels, Sarah never forgot the lessons she had learned from her family's history and her encounters with malevolent forces. She remained vigilant, always aware of the delicate balance she maintained. She knew that the darkness still lurked at the fringes, waiting for a chance to tip the scales. Back in her ancestral home, the old Victorian house had become a sanctuary for those seeking solace and guidance. Sarah welcomed visitors with open arms, sharing her knowledge and helping them connect with their loved ones who had passed away. It was a place of healing, of closure, and of profound spiritual awakening. Sarah's story, once shrouded in darkness and fear, had become a beacon of light and hope. She had transformed her family's legacy from one of mystery and danger into a legacy of understanding and compassion. The veil between the living and the dead remained intact, and Sarah was its steadfast guardian. As the years turned into centuries, Sarah's name became a legend, whispered in hushed tones by those who sought to bridge the gap between the realms. She had not conquered death but had embraced it, finding beauty in the eternal dance between the living and the deceased. And in doing so, she had become a true master of necromancy, a guardian of the veil, and a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to find light in the darkest of places.